Welcome to the Parma Area Chamber of Commerce podcast. We will be focusing on everything from spotlighting our members to discussing what is happening in the Chamber. This episode is brought to you by Classic Strategic Media. Classic is a proud sponsor of all the efforts of our Chamber. Now let's join the conversation at the Classic Strategic Media Studio in Independence, Ohio.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Parma Area Chamber of Commerce podcast. I'm Chris Inman with Classic Strategic Media, and joining me today is...
Bridget Richard.
And who are you with?
Lamplight Counseling Services.
Awesome. So your counseling services, why don't you go through how long you've been in business and tell us a little about yourself?
Well, I've been in mental health for 20 years, but Lamplight has been around for 6 years now. And we are a combination of counselors and social workers, all trained in various different facets of mental health. And we are here to make counseling and mental health services accessible and comfortable for all members of the family and community.
Awesome. I mean, we're coming out of this pandemic, COVID. That has really created a lot of anxiety and stress amongst people.
That is absolutely true. We have definitely seen an uptick in requests for services, and it's completely understandable. A lot of people have had difficulties they've been able to manage in other ways, other coping skills, other support systems, and those were all taken away rather abruptly. And so now we have this return to the world that we are all very, very happy about and very, very anxious as to how that's all going to come about over these next several months. So it's understandable.
Yeah. I mean, people have been locked in their houses and stuck with their family members, and a lot of marriages are having a lot of conflict now.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, I love my husband. I love my kids. I think we're all a little sick and tired of each other. Luckily, I'm a therapist, so I have a lot of coping skills to fall back on. But I tell people that it's almost like a microscope. When we had other coping mechanisms, other distractions, other things where we could kind of overlook each other's idiosyncrasies, it wasn't as big of a deal. But living at home together all this time and kind of grating on each other's nerves put everybody under a microscope. And so whatever difficulties we were having have been amplified by the fact that we've been under stress, that we have anxiety, and that we see each other all day, every day. So yes, there are some stresses, but I think when you see those stressors starting to come out, that is the perfect time to get therapy, because you're not at your wit's end and you're open to some suggestions and some alternatives that could really be a jumping off point for really strengthening a marriage or strengthening a family.
Yeah, I mean, there's this whole negative thing where some people's like, oh, I don't need help, I don't need to talk to somebody, but it really does help you.
Oh, absolutely. Even therapists at times need a therapist. And we need it because we need somebody who's going to be objective. You can't see the forest through the trees. And when you're in the middle of it and you're under stress, you're not as likely to see some pretty simple solutions. And that's just emotional stress. If you add on to it some sort of an organic mental illness, a depression, an anxiety, a bipolar disorder, that just creates layers of things you have to get through to make change. If you go for therapy, which in my humble opinion, has been around for thousands of years. We've had the village elder, we have had mentors, we have had patriarchs and matriarchs, all people we know have a way of looking at things that is helpful to the community. Now we have therapists, and we are trained. We keep up our training every year. We have to get new CEUs, so we're always fresh. And we're excited to impart those fresh ideas and that impartial reflection of what your current circumstances are and what they could be to our clients.
Awesome. So how do people get a hold of you to schedule an appointment?
So many ways. We try to make it accessible. So we do have our website, and there are many different forums and areas within the website, lamplightcounseling.net, where people can contact us. We have 9 to 5 phone coverage, so they can give us a call. And then we have our social media on Facebook and Instagram, so they're welcome to contact us through there.
And you have appointments throughout the day and into the evening, I assume.
And Saturdays.
Saturdays, so there's no excuse.
There are no excuses. We're here to help, and we want to meet you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
And thank you for listening, and you guys have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Parma Area Chamber of Commerce podcast. We would like to thank our sponsor, Classic Strategic Media. Please subscribe to our podcast to be notified when new episodes are released.